Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Amelia Lady B, and welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. If it's your first time visiting me, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the notifications bell to know when I post a new video. On today's episode of Moments in Menopause, I'm going to be talking about how to manage in school and also in the workplace. So that's dealing with endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, any type of reproductive health issue, and also battling menopause, that's surgically induced or natural menopause. So stay tuned. Okay, so most of you know that I suffered from endometriosis prior to my hysterectomy. If you haven't viewed my story about my journey with endometriosis and my journey now in surgically induced menopause, I absolutely encourage you to check out that video. I may link it to this video, but prior to my hysterectomy, I had a radical hysterectomy almost 4 years ago now. 4 years ago due to stage 4 endometriosis. If any of you are familiar with endometriosis, some of you may and some of you may not. Some of you may suspect that something is going on, but you're not really sure what's happening with your body. I also have a video talking about that as well. But endometriosis is when the lining of your uterus is actually, instead of growing inside, it is growing on the outside. It's causing a lot of internal issues. I'm not going to go into that. You could definitely Google it and again watch my previous video. But it does cause a lot of severe pain during your menstrual cycle, and actually when you're not even menstruating, it causes a lot of pain and other issues along the way. Disclaimer to my video, I am not a physician. I am not a therapist. I say I'm not a therapist because I do discuss a lot about mental health. I do have a master's degree in mental health counseling, but I am not a licensed therapist. So do not take my advice for therapy or in substitute of seeing a therapist or even a physician. So most definitely, these are just tips that I talk about to help you in life and to help you even talk to your doctor as well. Okay, so I said I wanted to talk about how to manage in school and also in the workplace. So I talk about endometriosis because when I had endometriosis, it was like in my childhood, so like 10, 11 years old. I had it was severe pain. I had really horrible cramps. It was very debilitating. So from, say, elementary to high school, college. So I did go through all of those phases of my life with endometriosis. And these are things I feel like women should talk about these issues with their daughters, with their nieces, cousins, sisters, whomever, because we have to educate our girls on how to know their bodies, how to manage symptoms, and just to help them along the way. So for endometriosis, and I can say for PCOS as the same, because I have met women with PCOS and they've shared with me their different issues that they've had as well, similar to what I experienced with endometriosis. Fibroids can also bear the same similar symptoms as well, because again, these are growths in your body that's causing very severe pain and also heavy bleeding during that time of the month, and even when you're not on your menstrual. So when you're in school, you can have some very embarrassing moments when you're in school, especially if you really do have heavy bleeding. My advice is to, if it's possible, I know these days school is kind of hard to miss days in school, but if at all possible, if you can miss the first maybe 2 days, because I know typically for me, if you know your body, so everybody's totally different. For me, I had to miss at least the first 2 days of my period. Now, on the days that I did go, this wasn't all the time that I missed every month. Now, when I did go, there was a whole routine that I had, and this was all the way up into college as well. So this included me having to wake up a little extra early before I got to school to eat something. Typically it would be toast, because the first few days of my period, I could not eat anything greasy. Food wasn't really agreeing with me, so it was mostly just toast, something dry that I could eat, maybe sometimes a broth, but nothing greasy, nothing heavy like that. So eat a piece of toast and take I was taking Advil. In high school it was mostly like maybe 200. I could do 2 Advil, would last me for the 4 hours, and then take another 2. But that was just like middle school, high school, stuff like that. But then as I got to college, I upped my dosage, and it was like 800 milligrams of Advil. So, or your choice of whatever works for you. Mine was Advil. Sometimes I had to, like, my body would get used to it, and so then I would flip to Motrin. And that worked for me. Aleve never really worked for me. Tylenol never worked for me. So everybody's body is different. Whatever works for you, go ahead and use that. I do, however, suggest, and I did hear this from a medical physician, if you are taking a lot of medication, take an antacid. What is it? It was Zantac 75, I believe. Zantac 75 before you take your dose of your medicine, because it coats your stomach, because you're taking all these pills, and it could actually disrupt the lining of your stomach. So taking the Zantac actually coats the stomach. So you're welcome. You could, again, talk to your physician regarding that little tip, but I'm just saying, you're welcome. Okay, so the days that I did go, so I would take that, lay down for another maybe 30 minutes, and then get up to start my day. By that time, in that 30 minutes, I'm okay. I just had to make sure, always had a bottle with me, a small bottle with me, and like a bottle of water in my bag, so in my book bag, something like that. And when it was time, even maybe before it was time, I would take something. And so that reoccurring of taking something really didn't disrupt that time period, so I didn't feel too much pain, and it was bearable in a way. It was somewhat bearable. And so so that's what I did to manage throughout the day. Drinking cold is not your best friend. So during lunch, I know it's kind of difficult, but if you have a bottle of water with you, or something like ginger ale, keep it in your purse or in your book bag, and let it get room temperature, because for me, cold just did not work, and I just can't see. I mean, I guess some people it would work for, but definitely cold caused more of my cramping. It really just didn't do well. It didn't sit well for me. If you're able to have something hot tea is really good. Carry a thermos with you with something hot. That would be awesome. Dealing with the cramps. So I know it's kind of hard, because especially when you're in school, you don't really have access to like a microwave or anything like that, because you're at home, you use either a heating pad, hot water bottle, stuff like that. That when I was in college, I started using, I don't know, they had these, what do they call them? I should have googled it before I started the video, but they're like, like the icy hot things that you put on your back. So they have the heating ones that you use, and I put that, it was like a wrap, and it wrapped around my stomach. I could wrap it around my stomach. So it was like a portable heating pad, but it didn't last very long, but I managed. So I used that in college for a little bit. Wasn't all that great. If I had breaks in between my classes, I would definitely either go to my car. Typically, I would go to the library and get one of those rooms, the study rooms, study corrals, whatever you want to call them, study rooms. And I would put the chairs together and I would lay down. No lie. That would be what I do in between breaks, because it's kind of difficult walking to class, just giving yourself enough time to walk to your class. My campus was huge, so giving myself enough time to walk to class, walking as slow as possible when it comes to cramping, while trying to make it on time. But that's some of the things that I did at work. Now in college, it was kind of difficult too, because I did have a job. So I had, I had a stand-up job, so it was like in retail. Those were difficult times. But it's like at those times, and I don't know if some of you can relate, but it's almost like we become so, like pain is nothing. It's like we've been through pain just about all of our lives until like we've become a pro at pain. It's like I can fake it for a little bit. Like I can fake a smile and be like, okay, I'm really okay. Sit down for and that's kind of like how I managed. It was like I was good. Like I would take my 30 minutes, drink something, and sit down, lay down, and I would close my eyes, take deep breaths, and boom, keep it trucking, and just make sure I pop my pills on time. Make sure I popped them on time, and that's kind of how I manage. Now, I'm not telling you to become a pill popper, nothing like that, but most of you probably more than likely are, just because of what you're dealing with, the level of pain that you're dealing with. So pretty sure some of you can relate. Now when it comes to heavy bleeding, the heavy bleeding can get very embarrassing, because there are moments where you really can't control some things, like it's just moments of heavy bleeding. And so all I can say is don't forget to carry your pads with you. Pads, tampons, I'm not sure what you use. Whatever you use, carry them with you. If you're a heavy bleeder, I do suggest you getting super maxi pads. Super. Overnight. Not just super. The overnight ones. And you just need to wear those. I'm just saying the coverage is good and it holds a lot more. I have heard of sanitary napkins now that are more natural. They're not like the ones that are in the stores, and I know a lot of people are talking about health-wise. I wish I knew about those when I was menstruating, but if you want to go the natural route, definitely go that route. They say they actually really work. I don't know, I think a brand is called Cherish. I'm not sure of any other brands. But get you the overnight maxi pads, most definitely. The brand I used Always. Their super absorbent ones were pretty good. Also too, I wore biker shorts. under my clothes, even if I had on jeans. So I would wear biker shorts because it's like to hold it in place, hold the pad in place. I know. But listen, I had to do whatever I needed to do to stay, clean, dry, whatever you want to say. Because I had a bad experience in middle school. Let's just say, thank God I had a jacket. Had a jacket in the 90s. Used to wear it. The style was to wear the jacket around your waist. You tie it. I'm just saying. So thank God that day I had my jacket with me. And I went home early. So most definitely carry stuff with you. Have stuff with you. I mean, you don't want to have the incident I had and carry another pair of jeans with you or something, then you go right ahead. But the biker shorts worked, held it in place, held the pad in place. All that, just change periodically, especially if you know you're a heavy bleeder. But again, if you can take at least the first day of your menstrual, take it off. When you're at work, whole different story. Maybe if you don't have like a stand-up job or if you have a sit-down job, it might be a little bit easier for you. You may not have to take that time off and use all of your sick time or whatnot. You may not have to do that, but definitely if you're in school and you have that kind of leeway, go ahead and at least take that first day off. Don't forget to make up your work. Don't forget to email your professor. And this is where what I really wanted to discuss is that who can you tell? So you may have friends, you may have coworkers that you really can trust, or that may be asking what's going on. Why are you always sick, keeled over, whatever? In college, you may have a roommate or whatnot. Definitely, it'd be good to tell someone. And it's okay to tell a professor. If you're in primary, middle, or in high school, I'm pretty sure your mom could get a note from a doctor if you've been to a doctor, or your mom could just be mom, dad, guardian could be someone that could speak to a school official and let them know that you are experiencing certain issues. And so then that could be time that is allowed for you to take off. And it's just something that's known that you can take off. And so they can inform your teachers, and it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Again, I don't know how a lot of schools work these days, but I would definitely, if I had a daughter, I would definitely do something like that. I would definitely inform school officials to let them know what's happening in her body and that she does need this time off. If they need a doctor's note, then it would be something that I would consider in taking my child to the doctor and things like that. So most definitely that's how I would handle that. Now at work, again, if you have a friend, a coworker, when I started, not in college, I didn't tell anybody in college about me having endometriosis or anything like that. Again, like the way my schedule was set up and my cycle, I was just really glad that I was able to manage the way that I managed. Like I think back right now and I'm like, how did I do it? Like I can't even imagine how I did it. But I made it work. So again, the tips with the 30 minutes, waking up a little bit early to take your pills, your pain medication, and then laying down for maybe 30 to 45 minutes. Just make sure you get to work, to school on time, and things like that. I think I did have to miss, due to my surgery and pain and all that, I missed college. I didn't even graduate on time. It took me a while because I had to miss due to my surgery and recovery and just pain, and it took me a while, a little bit extra time to graduate, and I had to miss almost a year, maybe a year and a half. I'm not even, it was a while, for me to get it back together, but I made it through, and it can be discouraging, but you can make it through. But again, back to work, talk to, I guess this can kind of be weird if you have a male supervisor versus a female supervisor. So, and if it really does impact your workday. So, one, just think about, does it impact your workday? Because do you really want to tell all your business? I mean, most of the time you don't. But if it is something that is really impacting your workday, then it might be something where you would like to tell a supervisor or a coworker, because maybe that coworker can cover for you in meeting with clients or something like that. If you have a sit-down job, it might be a little bit easier for you because you can take a heating pad with you, because that's what I did. When I was working I work in social services. So in about two of my jobs, I was able to bring a heating pad with me to work, because right by my job, by my desk, I had my hair stuck to my necklace. So right next to my desk, the plugs were like right there. So I was able to plug my heating pad in and just kind of like, oh, yes, felt so good, and work, type my notes and stuff like that. So I was able to kind of like relax. And then if I had to go out to meet with clients, then I just go out, meet with clients, come back to my desk, and I was good. So yeah, it just all depends on the setup of your work environment and how you can make that friendly for you. So sitting down, maybe talking to a boss and saying, hey, I do need to sit down a couple of, just maybe at least 10 minutes. I know like in hospitality and in retail, it's kind of like rude to sit down while you're not really able to sit down. But I know, people are injured. They will allow it. But again, this is where you use your discretion to talk to your supervisors about what's going on in your body and what you would need to help you manage at work. So it doesn't look as though you're trying to use your illness as an excuse to not come in or to even do your job. So cover how you can. If you can get coworkers to help you on your shift, depending on your job, go right ahead and do that. I really would encourage that. I did tell my coworkers, when I had my hysterectomy, my coworkers didn't know, because they were really concerned about why I was taking off to have, I told them I had surgery, I'm having surgery and all this kind of stuff. So they were concerned, but I did inform them. They let me know. They were very, very encouraging, very supportive, and just, it felt really good. It was what I needed at that time. And so it was just really good. When I came back to work, they were like, Amelia, just relax, don't move, don't do anything. I'm like, guys, I at least have to get up and walk. Yes, but walk slowly. And, they would carry my files for me. I had, during that time, my coworkers, I'm telling you, hands down, the best. And I was glad that I didn't keep it to myself. Because I can't believe how I would have managed without them. So again, at your discretion, but most definitely at least have one or two coworkers that you trust, that you confide in, because we have our friends, we have our ones that we communicate with, and we share information with. So most definitely utilize the people around you just to be that support for you as well. And while you're doing that, when you're telling people, because I've been able to educate so many people about endometriosis and about and then I had a coworker with fibroids, and we were talking about it, and I was like, listen, you need to do this, and this, and talk to your doctor about this, and this. Or I had coworkers who had pain and didn't know, and it was severe, and I'm like, listen, be able to tell them information, so you're able to educate as well as inform them of what's going on in your body. And two, they better understand what's happening with you as well. Because a lot of people want to, when you're in pain, you can either kind of be a little grouchy or be just in pain and you need that minute, and people don't understand it. But when you tell them, it's like, oh, okay, well, like, all right, we got you, and they'll help you out and everything. And the same can kind of go for menopause as well. My coworkers do know that I'm in menopause. They know I'm in menopause. My coworkers, my supervisors, they know I'm in menopause. I was vocal about it. It was one of those moments where I didn't happen immediately. Once I grew to know who they were, know them, and one day it just came out. It came out really because I, of course, have hot flashes. So, what is happening to you? You get those questions, especially when you're so young. When you're in your early 30s and people, and you're flashing, there's a concern because you shouldn't be. But I shared that with them, and I'm glad that I did because they understand. I didn't tell them my whole story. Not everybody knows my whole story. But some have asked, if you don't mind me asking, how did this happen? Is it like a natural thing that you're in menopause? And I'm just like, no. So it's a moment to where I can educate them about endo. I can educate them about reproductive health and even educate them about menopause because, not a lot of people know anything about menopause. I definitely did not know anything about menopause except for hot flashes. And I'm learning there's a whole lot more. It's not fun at all. But I'm happy to educate people, and not to say that this process was anything easy. This was not something that I ever saw myself doing, like doing videos like this about menopause, doing videos like this about endometriosis. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I would be doing videos like this and being so open and building a platform for information, for people to see me in my vulnerability, in my vulnerable state of pain and mood swings and all that stuff. Just sharing all of that information. I would have never seen myself doing this in a million years. But it has been such a journey, and God has just blessed me to get through it all, with, to me, I say somewhat of a sane mind, but I got through it, and I'm just so blessed. I'm blessed to have gotten through everything that I've been through and to be able to share it with everyone, with people I don't know, people I've never seen, but people who, inbox me and, just want to know more about my story, or want to know more information about menopause, want to know more information about endometriosis. And I'm just so excited to share, and I'm just happy to do that. And so that's why I really do believe it's important for us to be more vocal about our reproductive health, because we have to educate those around us. Where I used to get looks like, what's endometriosis? What's that? Now it's like, really? What is that? And some people still give a look like, what's that? And they have a weird look. I've never heard of that. But more people are becoming aware. I'm starting to see commercials about it. And people want to know more about reproductive health, because a lot of women, 1 in 10 women have endo. 1 in 10 women have PCOS. Fibroids, I believe, affect 75 to 85% of African American women. 50%, is it 50% of white women, and 30 something percent of Asian women. And so, yeah. Also Hispanics as well. is in the upper percentage with African American women as well, Hispanic women. And so we don't talk about this stuff. I'm tired of it not being vocal, us not being vocal. We have to be vocal about it. Gone are the days of grandma being silent, auntie not talking about it. We have to talk about it because these things are hereditary. For those of you who can have biological children, they're hereditary. For cousins, I talk to my cousins about it. I talk to my cousins about it because we are first cousins, and if it's hereditary, we most definitely need to talk about it. And so when you do that, it opens up the door for more information. It opens up the door for others to share with their family and to even think about what's happening in their bodies. Because I've had coworkers who shared with me, oh, I'm feeling pain and different symptoms, and I'm like, listen, go to your doctor, have them do a pelvic exam and ask questions, write down your symptoms, keep a journal of what's going on in your body, write it down, and definitely share with the doctors. But I don't want, because I know when I was in school, when I was in elementary, like middle school, and nobody knew about Endo. Like, I didn't share anything about, because that was just so embarrassing. Not even close friends, they didn't know about it. It's just like I didn't have anybody that was that close to me that I could share with. Like, I don't even know. It was just weird. I guess because I was weird. It's that awkward stage. Middle school was like that awkward stage. High school, my best friend knew about it. And my group of friends, they all knew about it. What was going on with me and stuff like that. But yeah, educate your friends, educate the people at your school, the school nurses, educate them about it. If they don't know, educate teachers and other staff members, educate your coworkers. Don't look at it as something that you have to be shunned away. We are not in, in biblical times where, when you're on your menstrual, you have to go hide away in a cave and not come back until it's over. We have to use our voices to help one another and to help people who don't know what's happening to their bodies, because a lot of us have not been, either you haven't been diagnosed, you're waiting for a diagnosis, you have a diagnosis and it was 15 years, 10 years, 7 years before you were diagnosed. So yeah, don't look at the conversation as something embarrassing, because you shouldn't be embarrassed about it. You should not be embarrassed about it at all. It is uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable, but don't be embarrassed about it. The more people you have on your side, the more people you've discussed it with, the more it makes it a little bit easier for you to function, because you can have friends bring you your schoolwork. You can have friends at work covering for you, not necessarily just covering you for you, but just helping you while you're there. Like I said, my coworkers were amazing for me during the process of my hysterectomy, and even when I was on my period and I just needed like that time. They were excellent, awesome with me during that time. I told my supervisor at one of my jobs, it was a little bit prior to my hysterectomy, and I did inform her about what was happening to me, because she would ask me like, are you okay? Because I would get pains in the middle of meetings and supervisions and stuff like that, and they would just be sharp, and you know how they hit you like bam, like a knife is just cutting you. And so I told her, yeah, I'm okay, just have endometriosis and all that jazz. And I told her that, and it was a good thing that I told her. So like when I would say, hey, I just need 30 minutes to lay down, like just 30 minutes, I'm gonna go to my car, I'm gonna take something and lay down, I'll come back. Sometimes she would say, why don't you just go home? you're fine. Just go home. But yeah, she would let me take that 30 minutes and just chill. And if I needed extra time, like I would text her and say, hey, just give me another 20 minutes if you don't mind. Like, can I take another 20 minutes? She'd be like, okay, fine. You're good. You're okay. And so, yeah. Sharing that information with people around you is great. I had some other notes. Let's see. I think I'll cover this stuff later. I'll cover this stuff in another video. It's a lot of other things that I want to talk about. But most definitely, I just wanted to talk about school and work, how to manage with your symptoms of endo, PCOS, fibroids, menopause, all that jazz. I really hope that this video helped you. I was sitting at work the other day and I said, gosh, I really have to. It was like, it's so crazy how the environment, what we're around, affects us. Like, I had a hot flash. So the AC at work, it's like at 76, 75, and I'm like, do people not realize women with menopause? I said, wait until all of y'all go into menopause. Then y'all gonna be like, that's what Amelia was going through. And I'm just like, it's such a battle. So what I do is I have a fan at work. That's definitely what I wanted to say. So at work, I bought a fan. My fan came from Ross. It's a nice size fan. Go to my Instagram. You'll be able to see her. She's my bestie. So I have this fan on my desk, and I also have a hand fan as well. And so I carry I carry my fan with me wherever I go. The fan on my desk stays on my desk, and when I'm hot, cut the fan on. That's it. And that's how I manage at work. And so you can do the same. So yeah. But I was sitting there thinking, like, how many women are going through this and not really understanding and know how to manage this at work? That's what brought this conversation on. And I was like, oh yeah, what about school too? So yeah, I hope this video was able to help you in managing your symptoms in difficult areas such as work and school. And maybe this was able to help you think about just in place when you go places as well. When you go places, visiting family, friend's house. I know a lot of times we decline those invitations because it is very uncomfortable. We are in pain, and it's just uncomfortable to carry things with you and to be in other people's bathrooms. It just is. I mean, it just is. But anywho, that's it for this episode of Moments in Menopause. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and to click on the notifications to know when I post another video. If you haven't visited me on Instagram, go right ahead and follow me. I'm not upset that you haven't started following me yet, but go right ahead and follow me. Share this video with family and friends. It doesn't matter if they have endometriosis or any reproductive health issue at all. Share this information because you just never know what someone is going through, and you never know what's happening in their bodies. And maybe something that I say, something that I've mentioned in any of my videos would be able to help them in speaking with their doctors and getting diagnosed properly and helping them throughout their daily lives. Most definitely, if it helps you, go ahead, leave a comment below. If you want more information about me, please go ahead, check me out on Instagram. I also have a website, millennialandmenopause.com. Be going on the reconstruction soon, but you can still check me out on millennialandmenopause.com. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Until next time, toodaloo, God bless.